Okay, good morning once again. Okay, so welcome to the virtual world of our discussion. Okay, today we'll be discussing one of the important documents that you will be submitting if you are applying for a job or for your on-the-job training in the real world of aviation industry. Now, what do you think is our discussion for today?
Technical report writing.
Of course, we are talking about technical report writing, but what is this one document that you need to submit if you are applying for a job?
Resume,
Resume.
sir.
Resume,
Okay, so resume. Okay, so very good. From our previous discussion, we talked about an application letter, and we are done with that discussion. So now let's proceed to our discussion, which is the three types of resume. Because I believe we only have this an idea that there is one resume, but actually we have different types of resume. Okay, so before that, may I enumerate the course objectives of this discussion? At the end of the course, the students will be able to distinguish the three types of resume, determine the information needed for the resume, and then, of course, you have to create a complete resume representing your skills, experience, and educational background. So, aside from the application letter, okay, I have made mention that the application letter is your representative. Okay, that is your representative as the best candidate for the position. But aside from the application letter, there is another representative, and that would be your resume. Okay, so let's talk about the resume. Resume, it is a document that summarizes your skills, experience, and educational background. Employers look at resumes to find qualified employees. Now, it is being mentioned in our PowerPoint presentation. The resume is a document that summarizes. Now, why is it considered as a summary? Anyone from Jetstream 2? Why is it considered as a summary? Or let's go back to the application letter. In our application letter, it is being defined as a type of letter where you elaborate. Okay, I believe you are listening. In the application letter, it needs to elaborate. Now, why in resume, why it needs to summary? What we are using in the application letter and what we are using in the resume. Hello? May kausap pa ba? Regacho, what is your idea?
No idea, sir.
How about you, Ferrer?
Sir, your resume indicates highlights of your skills in your educational backgrounds and work experience and ano sir, relevant you're applying to job. Yun.
How about in an application letter? Isn't it the same that we need to highlight the educational background, the skills? Okay, let me answer my question. No? Because in an application letter, we need to elaborate. Why? Because we are using sentences and paragraphs, right? Now, in the resume, it's just a summary because we are just using bullets. Now, can you see the sample picture of the resume? Can you see the sample picture in the
Yes, sir.
PowerPoint
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
let's say in the skills at the bottom. Okay, the skills. In our application letter, we need to explain, we need to elaborate our skills. But in the resume, we just need to name it by using bullets. For example, nakalagay dito, project management, public relations, teamwork. But in an application letter, we need to explain why we have these skills na teamwork. Okay? That's why in an application letter, we need to elaborate. But in resume, it's just a summary of our skills. Because again, we are just using bullet. And employers look at resumes to find qualified employees. Now, we need to present ourselves in a resume for us to be qualified to the position that we are applying. Now, there is a big difference between curriculum vitae and resume. I believe there will be a time that we can use it interchangeably or simultaneously. Okay, but there is a big difference between the two. Though the appearance of the curriculum vitae and the appearance of the resume are just the same, but the contents are different. Now, how can we differentiate the two? Okay, curriculum vitae, it emphasizes academic accomplishments. So if you want to give emphasis to your academic accomplishments, let's say, for example, you are a graduate of with honors, with high honors, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, that you have the best in communication, best in choo-choo, best in science, best in math. So if you want to include all of them in your curriculum vitae, then you are submitting a curriculum vitae. But if you want to give emphasis to your skills, let's say, for example, that you are good in reciprocating engine, that you are good in troubleshooting, in painting, those are considered as skills. Now, if those skills are being reflected to a document, that means you are submitting a resume. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, another difference is that curriculum vitae is being used when applying for positions in academia, fellowship, and grants. Let's say, for example, you are applying for a job in Asian College of Aeronautics as an instructor. Now, is the Asian College of Aeronautics considered as an academe? Can we consider that ACA is an academe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay? Academe has something to do with a school. Pag sinabing academe, eskwelahan. Okay? Now, if you're applying for a job in ACA as an instructor, what are you going to submit? Curriculum vitae or resume?
Resume, sir.
Seriously?
Curriculum.
Curriculum vitae. You need to submit a curriculum vitae because again, you are applying for a position in an academe. Okay? Particularly if you are applying for a job as an instructor. Okay? Another example, if you're applying for a scholarship grant, there will be a time that they will be requiring you to submit a curriculum vitae. And in your curriculum vitae, you need to highlight that you are a good student. Tama? Tama yon, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because I believe you will not be granted for a scholarship kung hindi ka nag-aaral ng mabuti. You will not be given a fellowship grant or scholarship grant if you are not performing well in the school. That's why you need to submit first a curriculum vitae so that they will be informed that you have these academic accomplishments na magaling ka talaga sa eskwelahan. Okay? Next, in the resume, it is used when applying for position in industry, nonprofit, and public sector. So basically, if you are applying for a specific industry, De Silva, will you please give me an example of industry? Industry. Give me an example of an industry, De Silva. What particularly industry that you want to be in, to be part of?
Aviation industry, sir.
Aviation industry. So a very good example of industry is aviation. Now, if you are applying for a job in an aviation industry, what are you going to submit? Curriculum vitae or resume?
Resume.
Resume, precisely. Okay, because again, you want to give emphasis to your skills. You want to give emphasis to your abilities. Because again, you are applying for a job in aviation industry. Okay, that's why in industry, they are requiring you to submit a resume. But in an academe and scholarship and fellowship grants, they are requiring you to submit a curriculum vitae. Next. Curriculum vitae length depends upon experience and includes complete list of publications, posters, and presentations. So basically, we do not limit the number of pages of the curriculum vitae. Let's say you have a numerous, a multiple publications, research, a thesis, and academic accomplishment. So you may submit a 4 or 5 or 6 pages long of your curriculum vitae. But in resume, it should no longer than 2 pages. Okay, so we need to limit our resume to 1 or 2 pages long, because again we need to put the information, the skills which are relevant to the position that we are applying. Kumbaga sa curriculum vitae, kahit hindi siya related, pwede mong ilagay. Pero sa resume, dapat related lang. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Those are the differences. Now, what are the similarities? Both curriculum vitae and resume are tailored for the specific job you are applying. Now, what are the two purposes why we need to submit an application letter?
To
During
obtain
the-
a
To secure,
Obtain job. Secure interview.
Okay, that's correct. To secure an interview and to obtain a job. So same thing with our curriculum vitae and resume. We are tailoring, we are creating, we are making our curriculum vitae or resume for the specific job that we are applying, for the job that we want to obtain, okay, for the job that we want to get. Okay, so we are creating our resume and curriculum vitae because we want to obtain a job. Next should represent you as the best qualified candidate. Again, our application letter, with our curriculum vitae or our application letter together with the resume are our representatives to be the best qualified candidate. Okay. Next are used to get you an interview. Okay. To secure an interview, we will not be scheduled for an interview unless we are being scheduled or unless we have submitted our application letter, and do not usually include personal interests. Okay, so those are the similarities of our application and the resume as well. Okay, next we have the three types of resume. We have the chronological, functional, and combination. Okay, the chronological resume, okay, we are giving emphasis to the date order. A chronological resume is a very common type of resume, and just as the name suggests, each section lists the presented items in chronological or date order. So we are giving emphasis to the work history, professional experience, and such. So basically, we are using the chronological resume if we have a multiple work experiences. Okay, if we have numerous work experiences. So basically, we need to put the information in chronological, okay, or in order. Now, the question is, paano natin siya ilalagay? The most recent one or kung ano yung pinakaunang naging work experience mo?
Pinakauna.
Pinakaunang or yung pinaka-latest? For example, sa educational background, what are you going to put? Tertiary, secondary, or the primary? What are you going to put first? Asian College of Aeronautics or yung elementary school nyo?
Primary, sir.
Okay, you need to put first the tertiary, the most recent one, the most latest one. Okay, let's say for example, you have a work experience 2018, 2019, 2020, you need to put first the 2020 kasi yun yung pinaka-latest. And the last part would be the 2018. Okay, nakuha nyo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next we have, what are the things that we need to put in the chronological resume? Of course, the contact information, the objective, experience, education, skills, and reference. So we'll not dig deeper to this one because we will not write a chronological resume. Let's proceed to the functional resume. So we are giving emphasis to the skills and experience. So it is a resume format that emphasizes a candidate's skills and abilities rather than their work history, organizing experience into categories that align with the skills needed for the target job. Question, what is the specific resume that gives emphasis to the work history? What is specific resume that gives emphasis to our work history? Hello, may kausap ba ako dito?
Chronological resume, sir.
That's correct. The chronological resume. Now, if you want to give emphasis to our skills and experience, we need to submit a functional resume. Now, is this the ideal resume that we need to submit together with our application letter if we are applying for a job in industry? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we need to submit a functional resume which gives emphasis to our skills and experience. So basically, this functional resume is a very good resume that we need to submit, especially if we are a fresh graduate. Okay? If we are a fresh graduate. No? So it's not necessarily to put the work history, your work experiences, because again, you are just a fresh graduate. Kaya it's obvious that you are submitting a functional resume which gives emphasis to your skills and experience. Now, what are the information needed? Of course, you need to put the personal and contact information, the objective. Yung objective, it has something to do with the subject of our application letter. But with the objective in our application, I mean in the resume, we need to put it in sentence. Okay, so lahat ng information na meron sa resume, di ba bullet lang, sabi ko kanina. Pero sa objective ng resume natin, it should be in sentence. You need to say, utter your objective in resume in sentence. and should start with a word to. No? For example, to apply, to obtain a position. Did you get it? What is the first word that you need to put in the objective?
To, sir.
To. Okay, that's correct. Next, qualifications. What are your qualifications? Educational background. Okay, with regards to your educational background, what are you going to put first? ACA or your elementary?
ACA.
ACA. Then
A-
the skills, you need to
sir.
put your skills which are soft and hard. Okay, you need to categorize your skills. What are your soft skills? What are your hard skills? So it should be um four, okay, four or more skills. Then your character references. Do not forget to put Mr. and Miss to your character reference. Now, is it okay to put your family members in the character reference? Is it okay to put them, your family members in the character references? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Maybe.
No, because it would be bias. Okay, so do not put your family members in the character references. Now let's take a recap to the power words. Soft skills, these are personal attributes needed for success on the job. So basically, these are innate. Okay, innate. Hard skills, these are skills that you acquired, learned through formal education. So these are the skills that you learned in your education. And the job success typically requires combination of hard and soft skills. So you need to perform both. You need to demonstrate both of your hard and soft skills. Let's say you are good with your hard skills, that you are good in reciprocating engine, that you are good in troubleshooting, but you are not good with your soft skills. Like you cannot work with other aviators. Now, there is imbalance with the success of your job. So you have to perform both the hard and the soft skills. And the last one is the combination resume. So we are giving emphasis to the order and skills. So this combination resume is not being used, is not normally used. Okay, because we only have um the most common used resume are chronological if you have a lot or numerous work experience. And the functional resume, if you are applying for a job since you are a fresh graduate. So the combination resume is a combination of both chronological and functional. Okay, so what to include? Skills and qualifications, achievement, work history, and education. So I'd like to end the discussion by saying education is not a qualification received, but knowledge acquired. So you have to attend your education for you to have, or for you to learn, for you to acquire a knowledge, not just for your resume, not just to get the diploma, not just to have a good credential,